Hi there, I'm Rick Smith, the chairman of Ilkley Lawn Tennis and Squash Club. When I became chairman of this club a couple of years ago, I had an ambition that we wanted as a club to be the centre of the community. For many years, I have grown up with tennis always being viewed as a very elite sport, and one thing that I wanted to do as a much younger chairman was I wanted to make tennis available to everybody, and I felt Ilkley as one of the biggest clubs within the Yorkshire area. We should be the anchor and the hub for all of our community tennis. So Ilkley's always had a successful outreach programme, but really it's reached the limit of its potential. We've grown tennis within local clubs, we've grown the schools programme in the local area, and I think now it is time for Ilkley to look much further afield on what we can do in the wider community and region.
So us here at Ilkley Lawn Tennis and Squash Club, alongside the LJ North Regional team, identified the clear problem of a large underserved community in the Bradford area who currently have no access to tennis. Very shortly, hopefully, we're going to have a large number of parks that are going to be refurbished by the LJ Park Investment Scheme. Our ambition and desire is to, first of all, be the coaching provider for those parks programmes, but on a much bigger and wider scale, we want to be the link between parks programmes, between existing great community activities such as LTA Serves and other local partners who we've been building relationships with over the last number of months, and we want to create a fluid, smooth, accessible pathway whereby we can get children, adults who've not had access to tennis, we want to provide them access to tennis. We want them to provide them a pathway to continue their tennis at their local park club, or maybe into a local hub club which might well be nearby. We want to make new volunteers, we want to make new coaches, we want to create a whole new community of tennis players within the currently underserved area of Bradford.
So the community player pathway is not just about developing a player, it's also about developing coaches within those areas. And what we want to do as Ilkley is allow coaches aged between 16 and 20 who potentially are looking for what they may do within their careers. Maybe they have limited opportunity. What we want to be able to do is give them that opportunity. Not only can they then help facilitate and develop the programme within their local areas, but again, we can look to build their career within tennis and within the racket sports. We can use Ilkley as the hub in order to give them that experience and develop their coaching, and also help them build and gain qualifications.
So now on to more of the how and the detail of how we want to make this happen. So as previously mentioned, we want to be the coaching operator for the Bradford Parks programme, and because of the areas we're dealing with, we want to make sure that the coaching provision for the players in IMD areas 1 to 3, maybe even 1 to 5, we want to make sure that it's affordable, and actually in large cases we want it to be free. But we recognise that then doing this well and doing this with the right kind of calibre of coach that's going to engage people, it's going to have some cost implications. And whilst, as our chairman Rick will have spoken about or will speak about, there is big money coming in from the club's own profits from the Ilkley Trophy, there is going to be large costs associated with hiring the right coaches for the right place and their time. There's going to be costs in terms of the equipment, and whilst over time some of our programs hopefully will be able to start charging some of the players and start bringing in some money and profit, actually in some of these parks maybe we won't get to the stage where we'll be able to actually be charging any fees to players. So in the initial stages for that, we are going to need some financial support to make sure this project can break even during those first number of years, and this is what our application here is for. But our ambition is over the next 3 years, through getting the right people in the right places, through really kind of forensic management, and as we put in our open application, regular reviewing, that we can then manage this project so that by the end of year 3, the funding from the Tennis Foundation will no longer be needed to break even. We will always keep putting our own profit from the Ilkley Trophy into this project, but as much as possible, end of year 3, we're going to make sure that without Tennis Foundation funding, that through making money in some parks, supporting other parks, and throughout all of the projects, that the project will break even by this stage.
The Lexus Ilkley Trophy provides the opportunity for the club to make additional profit throughout the year, and what we want to do with that profit is use part of it to go directly into funding our community programme. So what we're pledging is that 15% of the profits that have been made on this year's Lexus Ilkley Trophy, 25% of profits next year and the year after, will go directly into supporting that community programme and making sure that tennis is affordable regardless of what your background is.
I'm here at the Lexus Ilkley Trophy. This is a top-level ITF tournament for the women and a top-level ATP Challenger Tour event for the men. For many players, this will be the last event that they play ahead of Wimbledon qualifying next week, and it might even be the final warm-up tournament for players ahead of the main draw of the Wimbledon Championships. We've got tennis going on all week. It's a beautiful venue. I have to say it's my favourite spot on the grass court season tour. We've got some well-known names, we've got some up-and-comers, and it's available for everyone to come and watch during this week in Ilkley.
So each year at the Lexus Ilkley Trophy we have a large outreach programme that brings in nearly 2,000 children from the local schools in the area. But what we want to do is bring in more people from the community to be able to view and see the aspirational event. It's our belief that having this as an anchor for the event not only will help to fund our community programme, but it will really inspire some of those children from underserved areas to want to develop their career in tennis. From serves to parks to clubs, our community pathway will link the existing initiatives, the updated infrastructure and our club network to provide a cohesive route for any aspiring player. Ilkley will create an ecosystem that will link all the local stakeholders, and with the funding from the Tennis Foundation, potential sponsors and the profits from the Ilkley Trophy, we can create a sustainable, affordable community programme that will open up tennis for everybody.